Remember that time RoboCop shot that dude in the dick? 'Cause I sure do, and so does Jesus. Welcome to the Hooligan SquadCast. Oh, folks, forgot to charge my camera, forgot to charge my phone, so we have no video for this one, but we have audio, I promise. So, first of all, one, thank you for tuning in. Hope you stick around for the whole thing. Two, welcome. Thanks for clicking on this. You know what I mean? We're going to jump into a whole bunch of stuff today. Oh, I guess I should, merch stores and Patreon, link in description. $2 a month on the Patreon. Get a little thank you video, like specialized and everything for you. Put that out on social medias and on the YouTube channel. For $5 a month, you get early access to stuff, exclusive content, and your name attached to the podcasts and such. Put those little videos out on the end of the podcast in case you folks didn't know. So, also, a couple of people are telling me that they like listening to the podcast at work or on their way to work and everything like that. There was a while where I wasn't sure, one, if anybody was listening to these, two, where they were, because I was kind of like, I don't know, I like knowing where people are listening to this. So yeah, that's cool. I don't know. If I'm accompanying you on your way to work or at work or something, hope I make it a good one for you. And I hope your boss doesn't listen. Or who knows, maybe you both are. No, I don't have that many listeners. Okay. First official photos from the Witcher series have come out. And I've realized that a lot of people haven't read the books. Don't even know the books exist, apparently. Holy shit. Like, people, you gotta relax. Getting mad because somebody doesn't have the same eye color or doesn't look exactly like it, something like from the books or whatever. These are the first photos. If you think Netflix or somebody has completely ruined something based off the first photos, you're probably a bitter ass person anyway. And, like, come on. Come on. And we're going to get into like what I think about the photos in a second, but like I was looking at the comment section under these photos, and under the Henry Cavill ones, he's playing Geralt, main character, or at least one of them. Excuse me. And like everybody just made the same goddamn joke. Everybody. Well, I don't want to say everybody because I don't want to. I've been trying not to speak in like these broad stroke terms or generalizations, but like majority of the people that were trying to like be funny or troll, I don't even know what they were doing. Like it was just the same joke over and over and over. And look, we talked about it recently or like a while ago, whatever. Like a lot of trolls, all you do is like basically copy and paste the same comment or the same joke. You just change the movie or change the person you're targeting. Like, that's so fucking lazy. If you're gonna criticize something or you're gonna try and troll something, don't be fucking lazy about it. At least try to be creative. That's the thing that bugs me. Is like, you're not even trying to be creative. You've seen that 40 other people made this same joke, and you still typed it out as if you were going to be the only one to say it, or you thought it was unique or something. What? Come on. And also, not every person with whitish blonde hair is Legolas or Rhaegar Targaryen. It doesn't work like that, folks. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. Either way, I think the photos look dope. I understand some people's criticism, but these are also, again, the first official images. Things change. More things happen within the show. Okay, Game of Thrones, Melisandre, bit of a twist with that character, isn't it? Just saying. We gotta be patient. We gotta stop getting so mad about shit, just like right off the bat. I personally, I think Henry Cavill looks badass as Geralt. I really do. I'm actually excited to see this because a lot of people, and myself included, like we've really only seen him as Superman, really. Unless you like check out his other stuff. I haven't seen Mission Impossible Fallout. So I haven't seen that, but apparently he was really good. The one thing that was kind of weird to me is like they put out the clip of the bathroom fight and he does that like loading his arms to fight kind of thing, but then he still kind of gets beat up. So I don't know. If you're gonna have like a cool move or something like that, or the movie tough guy move, it's gotta be a little bit successful. Am I wrong for thinking that? Hey, if I'm wrong, guilty as charged. um, I don't know. I'm excited about the Witcher series. If you're not familiar with The Witcher, I should probably talk about that a little bit. So The Witcher is basically they don't belong to any village or royal family or anything like that. They kind of just they wander the lands, killing monsters, and it's very Beowulf esque. If anyone's familiar with that, it's really really cool though. I don't know. I don't know what to expect from the series because I think it's like I don't know if it's going to be a prequel to like the books or anything or the show or not the show, the games. It has to be a prequel of some sort, I'm assuming, because he doesn't have the scars yet. Um, excuse me. But yeah, I don't know. Unless it's gonna be one of those things where we get like some flashback scenes, and then it takes place within Witcher 3 or like around that timeline. Some of the I should have waited to like talk about this because I know a lot of you probably have already tuned out. Um, I don't know. Okay, check out some trailers for the Witcher 3 game and stuff like that. There's videos where people have like you know expanded more upon the lore of The Witcher as like channels have done for Lord of the Rings and everything. So yeah, I don't know, just dip your toe into that pool, see if it's something that you might be interested in. Um, how could I describe it? Think of I know this is gonna be a comparison that I think a lot of people will make, but think of like Game of Thrones world ish with actual like beasts and monsters. It's not so political and like just focused on these on like regular people. You know what I mean? And yeah, I know there was White Walkers and dragons, but like in the Witcher universe, there is many more creatures to be had. Also, I don't know, just be patient, folks. You know what I mean? Don't get so fucking mad about stuff right off the bat. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Speaking of like things in broad strokes and like generalizations, I've been really trying not to do that so much because I don't know. I guess if you want to call them statements or whatever, but like I guess I've been seeing a lot of just broad stroked discussions where like it's just all men are like this or all movies are like this or like, all horror movies are like this or all women do this. It's just when we speak in these broad stroke terms, we paint across this whole like a whole just population of people or a whole crowd, you know what I mean? That doesn't do anything. That actually kind of makes it harder to have discussions with people because if we're only speaking in these generalizations instead of saying, some people or a lot of people, I know in a way those are kind of generalizations, but instead of just saying, all these people do this, excuse me, I don't know, maybe that's the way that we're used to speaking. Maybe that's just kind of, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to say that it's lazy, but I don't think it's going to do anything to help. Whatever the conversation might be about. I think it's more important if we can to try and dial down who we're speaking about or what specifically we're speaking about. And we can't speak for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, there's fucking 7 billion people on this earth. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to just say all women or all men or all of this color, whatever, do this or act this way. It just, it doesn't get anything done. It doesn't help anybody. I think a lot of the time when those kind of statements are made and somebody like does speak up and say, well, it's not like that for everybody. It's not like a number of people. Yes. They end up being called like fucking snowflakes and saying that they're just being sensitive or they're mansplaining. I don't know if there's like a reverse for like womansplaining. I'm not sure. But it's just weird because like if you're going to speak in generalizations and then somebody says, hey, you can't say all of them. Like, I don't feel like you should be able to get mad about that. Your statement says all of whatever does this. Somebody is speaking up and saying, well, while I understand what you're trying to say, it isn't like that. They're just, I don't know. I just don't think it's productive. I guess what I'm just trying to say. It's just one of those things like it when we speak when we just like paint across an entire thing with the same brush and the same color, you're just putting everybody in the same box. You're not admitting or acknowledging that not everybody is going to fit those ideas or opinions or stereotypes. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I've grown up heard so many like stereotypes about guys where it's like, you know, oh, they just want to like sit around, watch TV all day. Even if somebody else is watching something, they have to hold the remote and they come home from work, drink beer, and just like a whole fucking slew of other shit. And then like as I grew up and like got older and stuff, I just kind of realized a lot of those stereotypes only apply to like the douchey guys or the like super gross guys. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying if you come home from work and have a beer, you're one of those. Like, I'm just speaking of the stereotypes and stuff that I heard growing up, and just saw that it, like that kind of stuff wasn't true for every guy. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. It was just random shit I was thinking about, seeing a lot of, and I was like, man, I just don't think this is doing anybody any good. Especially if we are trying to have discussions about stuff. But what the fuck do I know, if I'm being honest? So yeah, I don't know. Move on to the next note, I guess. Excuse me. By recommendation of the amazing, awesome, badass Lil Jenny Ran, been watching The Terror on Prime Video. I asked for some recommendations the last podcast, and she threw two my way. One for Prime, one for Netflix. I had heard a little bit about The Terror. I hadn't seen it or anything like that. So when she had suggested it, right away it was like, oh shit, okay, I've heard of this show. Like, I'm gonna check this one out. It's been one of those shows that I have to force myself not to binge watch it. It's so good, and just the ideas that it tackles: man versus man, man versus nature, man versus self, really. The ego side of us. When everyone else tells us, you know, this isn't a good idea, here's the evidence why, and we still ignore it and push forward, could very much be to our downfall, our detriment, if you will. So, if you're not familiar with what The Terror is about, in 1845, I believe it was, England sent 2 ships to go explore the Arctic to find passages through it. Basically, both those ships got stuck. And the next thing you knew, the ship crews vanished. Everybody gone. No one, I don't know if anybody knows for sure, like, what happened. I think we can guess. in certain like circumstances, but it's so interesting. And I honestly, I never even knew that like this was based on a true story or like the event that it was based on. Like this is one of those shows where you hear about something and you're like, well, I want to research this. I want to see the deets behind this. You know what I mean? Super good actors in there too. Holy shit. Kieran Hines, Mans Raider from Game. Actually, there's a few Game of Thrones actors in there. But yeah, so Syrian, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, and I apologize. But Kieran Hines also played Steppenwolf in Justice League. He was actually the first one that was outspoken and was like, I don't know what that was because I definitely worked on a different film, and I hope we get to see Zack Snyder's film one day. But either way, neither here nor there. Excuse me. I can't remember the actor's name right now, but he was the uncle in Game of Thrones that basically did nothing. Showed up at the Red Wedding, got captured, was supposed to marry Walder Frey's daughter, one of them, if I remember correctly. Was captured at the Blackfish. That's who had him next, and then Jaime got him, and he just kind of disappeared for a while, and then showed up in the final episode saying he wanted to be king, and Sansa told him, why don't you sit down, huh? Why don't you take a seat? Either way, he's in this show. Jared Harris. I can't remember what else he's from, and I feel really shitty about that because I don't like not remembering what certain actors have worked on. The first thing I saw him in, if I remember correctly, was Resident Evil 2. He was the scientist or whatever that I think he was working on the virus or something, and his daughter was like part of it. But he was in a wheelchair, and I was young enough that I actually thought like in real life he was in a wheelchair as well. But either way, I'm not doing this justice. The Terror is like, honestly, it's one of those shows. The atmosphere of where they are, just this Arctic desert. Like, there's so many things that you yourself look at or you see in the show, and it either makes you question how you would handle it, or it unsettles you because you imagine somebody going through this, or maybe even yourself. Jesus Christ, I don't want to spoil any of this show, but I think season 2 is coming out. It's called The Terror Infamy. I don't know what that's about because I just started watching this season. But like the way I see The Terror, like as like a franchise, if you will, they can do it very much like American Horror Story, where no season is really connected, but it's all under the same umbrella. The Terror could take these really mysterious historical events and do seasons out of them, and they don't have to be connected. Like season 2 Infamy doesn't have to be connected to, the Erebus like adventure or anything like that. So I don't know. I think if enough people really do like the show, it can keep going very much like I said, like American Horror Story, where each season's about something different. You know what I mean? I think Slasher was like that too. Haven't seen all that show though, so I can't speak to all of it, I guess. Excuse me. Just had a brain fart. I'm gonna grab a sip of my ice cap. It's been a bit of a hectic day, hooligans, not gonna lie. It's been a weird one. This summer vacation, well, at least like since the kids have started summer vacation, has definitely been more hectic than I'm used to. But what can you do? You got to put your parent pants on and get on out there. So, but yeah, I don't know. Check out The Terror if you guys haven't yet. Google. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this site. Um, I'm pretty sure Google is getting dumber, and they're 100% proven to be getting a little bit shadier as far as a business goes. One, it is crazy sometimes to get certain search results. Like, I don't know, like Google, everyone always says, like, oh, you can find anything. Not anymore, apparently. Certain things, it is like there might be one link to it, and then all of the rest is just these fucking dumb keyword things that have actually nothing to do with what you're searching. And even if you do that little trick where you put the plus symbols between the words instead, like I've had that draw up no results. And it's just like, I remember when you used to just be able to look something up and boom, it's right there. You read it. You know what I mean? Now it's like you read the first one or whatever and you're like, I don't know about that. Let's do some more research on this. And also, hey, Google, stop letting companies pay you to not like turn ads off. Yeah, I got a burp and it's trapped and it's hurting. I feel like I'm getting signs from the universe that I just shouldn't be doing podcasts or something anymore. Get stuck in these hectic days and burps get fucking all trapped up. Anyway, so recently, this one company, G2A, basically sells like stolen keys and stuff for games. So you can unlock them without actually having to buy the actual game. But then a lot of the times, like, you pay for these keys to the game. It'll be basically like a password or whatever. You'll, just for example, you pay $10 for it. You go to redeem that key. Now it says that key doesn't work. You don't get your money back for that, and you've just been sold a broken key. Like, doesn't work. Nothing. You go to the developer to say, hey, your keys don't work. It's this whole fucking cycle of just bullshit, basically. And also, I want to also credit one of my favorite channels, Inside Gaming Daily. They did a whole video talking specifically about this situation with G2A. And I had seen it last night, kind of added just another thing because I've been seeing this with a few companies lately. Basically what happens is if you search something on Google in the top one, you'll see a little thing in the corner that says that it's an ad. Now, at least on your phone, you can go on and say like, don't show ads for this specific site within your like search results. With G2A specifically, you can click that button 100 times and it doesn't click off. Like it'll move and then switch right back to on. A lot of companies have been doing this and it's just fucked. I can't help but feel like Google is getting dumber and shadier as like a business and a website. If it's one of those things where you want to have this like search engine or whatever that as soon as you look something up, boom, your first result, there you go. That's not how it works though. A lot of the time we have to skim all the way down the page to get anything that we're like the proper things we're looking for. Or nowadays you look up something on Twitter or Instagram. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just think it's weird that like there's so many things in the world that make us feel like we're like advanced, and don't get me wrong, we do have those things and Google is a useful tool. It just feels as time goes on and the more information that's out there or whatever is just making Google dumber. Because there's no differentiation between something. It's just based all off keywords. So it doesn't differentiate between like fake news or whatever and like real articles or real websites. You know what I mean? Like you could look up something about an actor or a YouTuber or whatever have you. And it'll have certain things, but then it'll have like these other news articles or fake things like in there as well that aren't even from like an actual journalist, an actual what is it? Reputable? A good a website with good reputation, good standing. Google doesn't like differentiate any of that. It doesn't bring you the most optimal results. I don't know. You can't say you're, you know, leading the world in search engines and stuff and you have the most optimal results if it's really not. It's like just basically a bunch of random ass keywords that bring you stuff that have nothing to do with what you're looking for. I don't know. We're off it. Fuck it. Excuse me. Phone scams. Jesus Christ. They're everywhere. I got hit with 2 this weekend. One calls me from a 705 number. That's my area code. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, I'll answer this. I don't usually answer numbers that I don't recognize, but that's gotten me into trouble with certain things, or I've had to now like, call people back and whatever. Figure it all out. This weekend, this number calls me, and I answer. And right away I hear a voice, like a robot voice, I should say. And it's like, we have received a notification about sexually transmitted diseases in your area. We've realized you are affected. This is Steve from accounting. He's very upset. And like, what the fuck? Like, it's one of those things where you get caught off guard and you're so confused. You're like, what the fuck is it? And then you hear, this is Steve from accounting. And you right away, hang up. Fuck that. I wouldn't have given any of my information anyway. I don't give any of that out. But then the next day, like this was on Saturday, I believe, and then on Sunday, my own phone called me. Like my phone was ringing. My oldest daughter brings it to me because I was standing out on the front step. And it says, I'm calling myself. Like the caller ID showed my thing. Didn't answer it. Call my cell phone provider, ask about that. Like, hey, I just had this super weird like circumstance. They fill me in that that's also like a phone scam that's been going on. Now, certain things, when it comes to tech, I know a bit about it. Other things, I have no fucking clue. Like, at all. So I ask them, and I even said, now look, this might be a really dumb question, but I need to ask to be sure. If somebody calls or whatever, doing like that dummy phone service, because they just basically grab like a bunch of people's numbers from like fucking phone directories or whatever have you. Could like if you answer your phone, could they hack into your phone now? Like they have control of your phone. Right away he's like, no, don't worry about that. Like that's not how any of that happens or whatever. So that was good to know. But it's fucking crazy, folks, that like scams are constantly like adopting new ways. Remember, like we all still get spam emails. Excuse me. Like it's basically, it went from like fucking call-in TV shows where you donate money and get fucking nothing to emails. And now you're getting these random fucking phone calls and text messages. And it's like, I know telemarketers have always been a thing, but like when people are actively trying to scam people, like that's fucking, I don't know. It's crazy. I just didn't realize how many like phone scams there actually were, and like how active people were trying to fucking scam people, I guess you could say. But yeah, it is fucking nuts. Also, don't ever give your information out on the phone or any fucking place. Like, unless you are at, like, you know for a fact you are speaking to an official employee of your internet provider, your phone provider, whatever the fuck it is. You don't give people your phone number or your PIN numbers, your social security or social insurance, whichever side of the border you're on. And, like, no, you don't fucking do that. We learned that shit in school. Stranger danger, folks. Stranger danger. Unless it's Walker, Texas Ranger. You know? Come on. But yeah, it is fucking nuts. I had no idea about the whole phone scam world. People will be calling you saying anything. We've, like, for years, there's been the, you've just won a cruise for two. Call in now to answer a few questions on our survey. That's been around forever. But, like, people hitting you up and straight up just using robot voices and telling someone, like, you have a serious STD. Like, you could, like, what? Imagine if somebody was already freaking out. They, like, I don't know. Fucking, the most serious one I can think of is HIV or AIDS. But, like, just picture that. Someone's freaking out that they might have that or whatever, and then they fucking answer one of those calls, and it just completely sends them off the rails. No one's responsible for that. You know what I mean? Like, no, the chances of finding that person who actually fucking made the phone call are, like, I don't know. Maybe it is super hard. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. But, like, if there's no one to hold accountable, those are the worst fucking scams. Though, like, that sucks. And I hope you hooligans have never been caught up in any of that shit. You know? So, I don't know. I feel like this was a really weird podcast. I feel like I don't know. In a way, I'm still getting into the swing of it all. Again, getting used to, like, summer vacation with the kids and stuff too. But yeah, I don't know. If you folks want, go check out some Witcher stuff. Learn more about it if you'd like. Or even just check out the photos. If there's something that you like and you want to see more and you're like, hey, Mr. Cavill, you're looking good with a sword on your back, sir. You got the blonde locks? Okay, I'm here for it. Check it out. On his Instagram, actually, Henry Cavill. Or they have The Witcher for the Netflix show as well that has all that stuff. And check out The Terror if you haven't yet. Super, super good show. Second season, The Terror Infamy is coming out soon. So, you beautiful hooligans. Hope you folks enjoyed the podcast at least, or, just it at least gave you some background noise while you were driving or working on something. Mucho love. I appreciate you folks tuning in. I really, really do. Again, Patreon and merch stores are in la descripción. Mwah, mwah, mwah for you beautiful fat J's. McQuack gets freaks and weirdos. For the love of everybody, keep being weird.